full year, and that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green lookum.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with us today and being a part of our True Form Life community. Whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world, we certainly wouldn't be here without you. Today I want to talk about being a good human being. Now I know it's not like a super sexy or enticing title, but I still have a message that I want to share with you, and I hope that many of you can resonate with what I have to say, because I think that many times we just don't consider other people, and I feel like when you consider other people, you yourself are being a good human being. So I want to talk about that today. I want to give you a couple stories, a couple experiences that I went through myself, and then maybe that'll shine a different light on the whole situation or different situations in your life as well. So sit back and enjoy. I got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
All right, so when I first think of human being, I do want to share this with you. Now, I was in a yoga class, and a yoga instructor says, we are human beings, not human doings. So I thought that was interesting, and he said maybe we could spend more time just being instead of always doing. And that resonated with me, because I feel like I'm one of those people that always have to be doing something, and it's a struggle for me to not always do something. Even for meditation, for example, like to me, that's still doing something. I'm still being productive. So I feel like we could all spend a bit more time being. See, there it is. I feel like we need to spend some time being instead of doing. So that's my quote to start off this show. And it really resonates with me. I hope it resonates with you as well. And I hope you take a few minutes to be. And I hope that helps you get on with your day and maybe find some peace and find something within that can really make a difference in your day. Now, when I'm talking about being a good person, I wanted to share a couple homeless stories with you, and maybe it'll help you shine a different light. Now, I know that everyone has a different opinion. I know some people aren't all that fond of homeless people. In fact, some people complain about them on a regular basis, and there's this one app in our local community that everyone can kind of talk on. It's not Facebook or social media related. It's a website where everyone can kind of talk and share what's going on in the community. And this app, I can mention it, I suppose, it's called Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app. I don't want to tell you exactly the community I'm in because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but it's called the Nextdoor app, and there's all kinds of valuable information on there. And I think it's really cool because it's specific to this neighborhood. So when there's a helicopter flying past, people are actually talking about it on this app or website, and they're saying, hey, what's going on with that helicopter? And then a few people answer. So I think it's really cool. And I also think we're not connected to our communities enough, especially in a big city like LA. So I wanted to share that with you, but I have heard some people complain about homeless individuals. I know it's challenging, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a number of different reasons that people complain. But for me, I feel like we could exercise more compassion, regardless of it's someone who's homeless or someone who cut you off in traffic or someone who snapped at you. And I have to work on it myself as well. Like, for me, I'm the first person to be like, when someone answers the phone in a rude manner when you call a business, I'm the first one that's like, I don't say this. I just think to myself, I internally judge. I say to myself, do you know that the way you answer your phone directly affects your business? And I don't want to get into too much business here, but I love to do business tips. I do that on LinkedIn page. I do it on my private Facebook group. And I share business advice all the time. And for me, when someone answers the phone in a rude manner, I think to myself, you're directly affecting that business. You're making that business look bad. And then I also think that that customer that's calling to give them your money, to give the business purchase or use the services, if there wasn't enough people calling that business, you wouldn't have a job. So I don't understand when people pick up the phone in a rude manner or don't overly go out of their way and be a good person or be a good human being. So that's a little note that I want to bring up. Side note here when I'm talking about judging. And I have to be like, well, myself, I have to say, well, I'm trying to be a good person myself. So maybe I say to myself, maybe they had a rough morning. Maybe something terrible happened. Maybe they have no idea that they're affecting their business in this manner, the business that they work for. They have a job because people are calling this business and they don't realize that. So if they are let go because not enough customers are calling, they may have something to do with that. So that's something I wanted to share with you. But when it comes to homeless, let's say, or different individuals, I wanted to share with you, there's this one individual, and he was around the area. His name is Gary. His name is Gary, and we haven't seen him in a year or two, so I feel like I can mention his name. And he was a homeless guy. He told me one time he wasn't homeless, but I think he was because we always seen him sleeping in the park or walking around, not like looking like he hadn't showered or bathed in a while. He just looked like a homeless guy. Maybe he wasn't. I don't want to judge anyone, but I'm pretty sure Gary was homeless. He always played his trumpet. He always brightened people's day. He always brightened our day when we saw him. So I went up to him and I said, "How you doing? What's your name?" We talked for a little bit, and we got a chance to develop a bit of a relationship. So one time we were sitting outside it was happy hour, and we were hanging out. We had a couple beers and we had a flat pizza, and we were just talking about how we haven't had either of those in a long time. So maybe we'll have to try it again.
True Form Life.
Before we get into the show, I just want to mention Complete Truth Protein. This is a plant-based protein supplement that we've designed ourselves at True Form. And the reason I designed it is because I felt like there was a need in the industry. Now, when I was traveling around the world, and I literally had a tackle box full of supplements and products and vitamins that did a whole lot more damage than good. So when I started doing more personal training and fitness classes, people would ask me what types of supplements I would recommend. And I always say, eat food. So that's why I've designed Complete Truth Protein around food. It's made with quinoa and hemp seeds. And one of the main benefits that it offers is improved digestion. So many of us deal with digestion issues on a regular basis. It also gives you a natural boost of energy. So if you head over to trueformlife.com/complete-truth-protein, we have tons of more details, videos, recipes, and everything you need to get going in the right direction with a good quality protein supplement. trueformlife.com/complete-truth-protein.
True Form Life.
But we saw Gary, he was kind of sitting on a park bench across from this patio we were sitting on. And we said, we know Gary. We talk to Gary all the time. We said, well, I wonder if Gary would like something to eat. And we kind of talked about it a bit. And then Dorothy was like, I'll just go ask him if he wants something to eat. So instead of, or you know what the thing was is, we were going to bring him something. Like, oh, let's just bring him something. And then the conversation went on and it was like, well, maybe he would like to pick what he wants. So Dorothy went over and she brought him the menu. And they sat down on the park bench and said, would you want something to eat? And he said, yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind something to eat. He did say, how you doing? What's going on? He said, oh, I haven't been to my apartment for a while. So Gary said, yeah, sure, I would love something to eat. So he could read the menu. He spoke just fine. He played an instrument. So we don't know his situation or what was going on in his life. Maybe he just needed a meal. Maybe he needed something to brighten his day. So we were there to offer that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I also think that it didn't really do a whole lot. Like it wasn't a huge deal. I think anyone could go and do that. And I think we could do things like that more often. So what happened is Gary ordered off the menu. So we came back to the table and we said, oh, we'd like this to go as well. So we ordered it to go. We sat there and we hung out. We brought that when the food came out packaged up. Dorothy brought it over. Gary gave her a big hug. I took a picture of it. It was such a heartwarming experience. And he took his food and he went off, and who knows where he ate it. Maybe he went back to his apartment and ate it. We don't know. Or maybe he went under the park, sat in the park and sat under a tree and ate that meal. But for me, it's like that's just a simple story of being a good human being. And maybe when someone snaps at you, we try to be compassionate and we try to understand that we're all humans. We all go through difficult times. We all go through our own challenges. And like I said, for me, I struggle with it myself. That's why I wanted to talk about it and be open about it and share. Like, no one's perfect. No one on this earth walks around perfect. So we can all work on something. And I think being a good human is one of them. So I got another story I want to share with you. We were standing at the beach, and another homeless person, he was laying there. We've seen this guy often, and something was wrong with his feet. I'm not sure what's going on with his feet. It kind of looks like it could possibly be gout, because I have some friends that have gout, and when they have a flare-up, their feet get swollen, their hands get swollen, so his feet are swollen, and he kind of hobbles around. He doesn't walk very well, and we often see him sleeping or laying on the sand or the beach. And I've always wanted to go and ask him if he needed help or if I can bring him a drink or a meal, but I just never have for whatever reason. Maybe it's that self-doubt, or maybe that's fear of rejection. I think we all go through that. I certainly do. Even when you want to offer to help someone, there's a fear that they're going to say no, and you're going to feel rejected because that's how you feel. Those are real feelings. So this particular individual was sitting right next to us, and yesterday I saw him get up, and it was like super hard for him to get up. Like he was struggling to get up, and that like just simply sitting on the ground and pushing himself up. It was a long process. And I said, so I saw this yesterday, and let's say today, and this is a number of weeks ago, but in the current moment, I said to him, I thought, I never say anything. I thought about helping this guy in the past. So I said to him, excuse me, can I help you get up? And he kind of glared at me, and he said, no. He's like, I don't need your help to get up. He said, and besides, I didn't even ask for help. He said, I get up all the time on my own. I don't need you to help me out. And I said, okay. I said, no problem. Like clearly he was angry, frustrated at me reaching out to try to give him a hand. And then so he pushed himself up, and he said, I get up all the time. I'm going to do it myself. Is that okay with you? So he was clearly agitated and clearly upset at the situation. But the thing is, I felt offended, and I felt kind of hurt and rejected in that moment. But those feelings went away, as they do. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I have no idea what that guy went through. He doesn't have a home. He walks around. His feet he's in constant pain and in discomfort. He looks like he sleeps in the sun on a regular basis. Well, actually, we've seen him passed out or sleeping in the sun, like not even in any shade. And who knows what he went through in his life. We have no idea what happened to him. We have no idea what pain he's going through or what discomfort. So who am I to judge that individual because he doesn't want help? So I think clearly it's easy to say that he feels like a less of a person because I felt he couldn't get up by himself. He felt like that was insulting simply because I thought he couldn't even get up by himself. And of course, that's what I thought. So I just thought maybe I'd give him a hand, and I didn't even know how I was going to help him out. He's a larger individual. And he was on his belly, and he was almost in a downward dog position. Didn't look like he could bend his knees. And he doesn't. And when I thought about it afterwards, he didn't look like he bent his knees much after when he walked around either. So maybe there's something wrong with his knees and feet. I'm not quite sure. But the thing is that so he was on his belly, and he kind of pushed himself up in a push-up position. Then he walked his hands back to his feet. He's kind of in a downward dog position. And then from there, he got up. And for me, I was like, wow, I was like, go ahead, you do your thing, get up all by yourself. Like I was happy for him that he didn't need help, because for sure, people would not be helping him up on a regular basis if he didn't do it himself. And I'm 100% on board with people that are willing to make it happen themselves. I mean, I think it's very challenging if you live in this world and you consider yourself a victim and always need help, or because of your situation, it's always someone else's fault. I don't know what was going through his mind. I feel like I don't know if he thinks what his situation is someone else's fault, but I do think that it's great that he's willing to make it work himself. He didn't, like I say, he's not asking for any help. He doesn't want any help. So it's not my job to feel insulted. It's not, those feelings aren't mine, and they're not his either. Those are just feelings that are floating around, and it's not my business to go and take them and wear them. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that I wanted to share with you, because we can go and help people. I think we all have an obligation to, and I know that's a strong standpoint, but I think we could all make this world a better place by the things that we do and the way we behave towards ourselves, towards one another. For us, like I just did a past show about caring for our environment, and I really think like being a good human being is like picking up trash. I think that shouldn't be something that we avoid. And I'm not saying there's a lot of trash in this area where I'm at in Los Angeles, for example, and it would be a full-time job to pick up trash every time I've seen it, unfortunately, especially how beautiful this area is. We're right by the beach. There's trash cans all over the place. There is trash cans overfilling, if you could imagine. And I'm not saying like that's your full-time job. I'm not saying make that your full-time job. I'm saying that if there's a piece of trash that comes across you, there was a bag of trash next, like within 10 steps of the trash can. And we kind of thought to ourselves, we had a moment that we kind of had to remind ourselves, let's not judge. We didn't know what happened to the person or the individual, but there's like a bag of trash 10 steps from the garbage can. And it was like, what are we thinking? Like, why can't we walk that and put it in the trash can just to make this a clean place? So many people come and visit this area. So many people take beautiful pictures of the sunset and the palm trees and the beaches, but they don't consider keeping this place clean. If we all didn't consider being a good person and making the effort to put some garbage in the trash, to take someone else's trash that they've thrown or left on the beach or left in the park and put it in the trash, this place would be gross.
True Form Life.
Just want to take a minute to mention Complete Truth Protein again. This is a protein supplement that we designed at True Form. We believe in food. We believe food heals, cures, and prevents. That's why this product is much different than your conventional types of products. Unfortunately, packed with chemicals, preservatives, toxins that our body doesn't know how to utilize, digest, and absorb. So that's why Complete Truth Protein can help improve your digestion and will offer a natural boost of energy. You can find more details at trueformlife.com/complete truth protein.
True Form Life.
Now I wanted to share another story with you, and this was after I felt rejected, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't ask anyone if they need help. But I mean, that's not a mindset that I want to repeat or carry on with for the rest of my life. So I thought I should go and help someone else. Like I should do that soon, so I have a different feeling in my body, in my emotions towards homeless people or towards other people that we could help out. And so we were taking our bottles into the to the bottle depot. And we recycle bottles. And if we see bottles on the street, if we see bottles sitting on top of a trash can, we'll take those and we'll recycle them. And so many people in California just throw it out. Like they don't consider recycling. They don't consider that those bottles are going in the trash or the ocean. So that's something that we do. We feel almost obligated. But you know what? The thing is, we also get some money back for it too, which isn't too bad. And I felt like we saw this lady kind of standing in the corner, and she looked like she could be homeless. She had a bunch of things in a basket and in a shopping cart, and she looked like maybe she may have not have had a bath or a shower in a couple weeks. Again, I'm not trying to judge her. I'm just trying to give you an example of what she kind of looked like, what her appearance was. So we were unloading our bottles, and I saw her there, and she looked like she was kind of leafing through her stuff, trying to pull out some bottles to recycle. Maybe she was trying to get some change or some few things to feed herself. Not really sure. Like I said, it's not our job to judge. It's not our job to have an opinion all the time. So I tried not to have an opinion. I thought to myself, maybe this individual could use some change. Maybe they could use a couple extra dollars. And I don't know. Like I don't know what kind of situation they're in. But we took our bottles in, and I thought to myself, I'm not really sure if they're homeless. Then I thought, I don't want to insult them. Like, what if they're not homeless? What if they're just sitting there in that situation and that's just what they look like? Like, this could be very embarrassing for me if I tried to offer them some money and they're like, I have a job. I don't need your money. But then I also thought to myself, those aren't mine. Like that opinion or those judgments or that mind frame, it's not mine to hold. It's not mine to carry. I don't need to be like, what if they reject me? Or what if they have a job? Or what if they have money? And what if I'm insulting them? They're not mine. You understand what I'm saying here? So we can choose to carry thoughts that aren't even there or emotions that could be made up, or we could choose to push them aside and give a helping hand and be a good person and to change someone's life. And maybe when I asked that one homeless guy if he needed help, maybe in just that instant he thought he could accept help. And maybe the next time someone asked him if he needs a little help, maybe he'll accept it, and maybe that'll make his day a little bit better, and maybe that'll change his life. Maybe he can have a friend. Maybe he can be more open. Of course, someone in a situation like that has an external shell to protect themselves because they've been hurt, likely over and over again. So maybe by just offering and dealing with a little bit of rejection myself, that made a difference in his life. Or maybe later on in the day, he could appreciate that. So what I'm saying here is that maybe I have no idea what this individual is going through, and I thought maybe $1 would change their day. I had a handful of change. I had a little bit of change. I had a few dollars. I thought maybe $1 would change their day. And who am I to say that it wouldn't or wouldn't? So I pull up on the way out. I roll down my window and I reach out. I pulled up so they could see me. I didn't want to surprise them or make look I was sneaking up on them. Didn't want to startle them, so I pulled up in a position where they could see me coming. And I rolled down the window and I reached my arm out the window and I had the dollar hanging out of my hand so they could clearly see that it was money. And I said, "Excuse me, would you like to have this?" And this lady, oh my gosh, I don't think I'll ever forget her smile. Her smile went from ear to ear, and she was so grateful. She came, kind of shuffled over in a hurry. She came over with a big smile on her face, and she said, "Thank you so much, thank you." She must have said thank you 4 or 5 times in seconds. And she crumpled up that dollar bill and she stuffed it in her pocket. And it was like in a way that she was like, no one's getting this dollar from me. And you know what? It brightened my day. And it absolutely made my day. And it was just a small gesture. And because I was willing to possibly deal with a bit of rejection, which I think we could all be able to handle, and she was willing to accept that help as well. So you'll remember in the past story, that individual didn't want help.
True Form Life.
I just want to mention Complete Truth Protein here once again before I let you go. This is a protein supplement we designed ourselves, made with quinoa and hemp seeds, also maca and stevia. We have 2 different types of products. They both have tons of health benefits. You can bake the original bag you can bake with. It's perfect for gluten-free flour. If you're celiac or gluten intolerant, we have tons of recipes on trueformlife.com, which include raw protein balls. People absolutely love these ones. We have pancakes, cookies, muffins, all healthy, all clean ingredients. Dorothy puts these together for us on a weekly basis. So if you head over to trueformlife.com, head over to the recipe section. We have all kinds of recipes on how you can use Complete Truth Protein. It's also a vegan and raw product. So if you have any intolerances or if you have any issues with digestion, this will definitely help you out. Once again, that's trueformlife.com/Complete Truth Protein.
True Form Life.
And I think we could all use help. And I want you to stretch your mind for a moment here. And when people offer you help, are you willing to accept that? When someone wants to give you some money, when someone wants to give you a gift, I think many times we offer a gift and we say, no, I don't need that. Or no, that's okay. Or you didn't have to do that. But they're not always doing that for you. Consider that when you do something for someone else, you're doing something for you too. I don't think there's any selfless good deed. You're helping yourself out in that situation too by making yourself feel better. So don't take that away from them. Let them help you. Accept the gift. Accept the dollar. I don't know. Maybe it's $5 from a friend. Or when you don't have a couple dollars. I know people that you say, "Oh, I'll give you a couple bucks. Don't worry about it." And I think it's nice. Like sure, like I don't need the help, or I don't need to. I'll find a way. I'll put on my credit card. I got a couple of dollars or 50 cents here. Just take it. I think it's great that people aren't always being like, taking and taking advantage of individuals. But at the same time, you have to be willing to accept the help. Like there's nothing wrong with it. So I feel like internally, we don't feel like that we are worthy of accepting the gift or accepting help or a helping hand, whatever it is. I'm sure I've often tried to help people like move furniture, or I'm walking by and said, "Oh, can I help you with that?" And no, I don't need any help. Thank you. And of course, some people are afraid of strangers, but we don't know what's going on in their lives. We don't know what's happening. That's why we try to exercise non-judgment and understand that they're human beings and they've gone through whatever they've gone through in life. And we don't need to judge. If they don't want to accept help, that's okay. But we have to understand that by not accepting help, we're kind of saying that we're not worthy of it. And I think we all are in different situations. Of course, you don't always have to accept whatever's being offered to you, but I think in many cases it's important to allow people to make themselves feel better when they want to help you out. And I feel like we could all make ourselves feel better by offering more of a helping hand. And that goes back to the beginning of the show when I talked about simply being a good human being and holding the door open for someone, or saying thank you when someone gives you something, or whatever. Like, it could be very small, it could be very simple. And I think these are almost random acts of kindness. And if we could exercise more kindness, more compassion, less judgment, we could make this world a better place. And as I was saying, like, I feel like we all have this obligation. We're all human beings. Like, we're all here on this earth to contribute and to make it a better place. And unfortunately, there's a lot of, there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of destruction. There's a lot of hate, anger, fear. And I think a lot of that mindset comes from lack. That we don't have enough. There's not enough customers. I don't have enough friends. I don't have enough money. If we understood that there's more than enough for everyone, then I think there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. We can push aside that hate, anger, and fear. I'm going to end off with a quick little story here, and I'll get into it more in another post. Like, you check out our Facebook page. I'm often writing on there. It's facebook.com/trueformlife. On Instagram as well. But just for a moment here, I wanted to share with you that a lot of people don't recycle here in California. So this individual saw there was bottles near the garbage can, so I reached in and grabbed the bottle and I tossed it in a bag. And this individual assumed that I was homeless because a lot of people don't recycle here, and he's seen me in the past grabbing bottles and picking them up. If we see bottles on the street or sitting on top of the trash can, like, why does that have to go in the landfill or in the ocean? Why can't that be recycled? Why don't you collect some money from that? And I think that we don't think about the big picture. We just think about these little things, and that's just trash. That's not going to make a difference. So anyways, this individual, he kind of said, I don't know your situation. I'd love to help you out. And I said, you know what? I just want to be honest with you. I said, I'm not homeless. And I should mention, there's a lot of homeless people in the area, and maybe some of them dig through trash to find food, or I don't know the situation or what this individual thought. But I just said, I want to be open and honest with you. I said that I am not homeless. I said, we run our own business, and I just want you to know that, because I'm happy to accept your help. And I want you to know that we make money. We're okay. we live just across the street. And he said, "Oh, I wasn't judging." He said, "I just thought maybe you need a hand." And then so we got to talking. He says, "What's your website?" So I sent him over to trueformlife.com, and him and his wife checked out our website. And he actually called me and he said, I didn't want to insult you. I want you to know that I hope just because you thought because I asked if you needed some help, I didn't want you to think that I thought you were homeless and that you were, in a rough situation." But he said, "I'd still be happy to help you if you need anything." And it was a really good conversation. And we've seen him and his wife at the park. We walk through the park every morning and we have nice conversations. And I think just by being good people, good humans, like I explained my situation, he explained his, nobody's feelings were hurt. I actually look forward to going to say hi. We see them just about every morning at the same time. I look forward to going and saying hi, and we're helping each other out however we can. And I think that's a great relationship with a solid foundation, because it comes from compassion, it comes from being genuine, and it comes from being a good person. I think it's very difficult to develop relationships in this world because of technology, because we don't know how to have conversations, and because we're always wanting things. So many people are selling products, and so many people are running their own businesses or selling other people's products, claiming it's their own business. That's another topic. But I think that if we were to look at an individual and being compassionate and not always wanting something from someone in return, I think we can develop more solid relationships. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to be open and honest and talk about being a good human being and starting with compassion. And I think that'll make a better world a place. So this world a better place. And I hope you consider some of these tips and suggestions I've offered today. Thank you so much for being here. All past shows are going up on exploringmindandbody.com. All past shows are there. You can also visit trueformlife.com. This is where we hold our products, our services, what we do. We have our magnesium product that is rocking. We're super excited about all the benefits that magnesium has to offer. And we also have our Complete Truth protein. This is a protein supplement made with hemp seeds and quinoa. You throw it in smoothies, gives you a boost of energy, and also helps with digestion. So check out trueformlife.com if you want any more details as to what we have going on. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.